Welcome to part 2, day 2 of Call to Arms Live 2025, the 10th anniversary event. Day 2 is setup day. Well, that's part of it anyway. Since this is part 2, that must mean there was a part 1, and I know this might surprise you, but that was the previous video. You should go check that out first if you haven't watched that one originally. You know, start from day 1. Then go to day 2. I'll probably suggest the same thing on day 3. Or I won't. I don't know. We'll figure that out when we get there.
It is day 2, and it is very dark, and there is a red shadow there that is me. Day 1 was a trip. It was cool to see a lot of new people and see some new insights and get some new ideas, and hot damn, we went over to the Phalanx house. And I finally got to see that, which is awesome. It's very awesome. I'm looking forward to Saturday. It sounds like we've got some good nonsense scheduled and ready to go and set up. So I think this is going to be a fantastic time. Question is, will I remember to do some more recording? Probably not. I get kind of stupid about it because I'm interacting with people at that point. Live and in person. All right, until the next one.
So day 2 is the first official, day of us being there. It is setup day, but we do more than just a setup. That morning, getting up early, I didn't have to do any setup, so there was another event that was happening out in Hollywood. And it was the star for Robert Englund, also known as Freddy Krueger. So there was a full intention to go on that trip, but as with all things first thing in the morning, and you're waiting on vehicles or waiting on other people or whatever, a couple of us were standing outside, and it happened to be me and Mad Viking King. And this ended up being the true, start of what proved to be the epic weekend. And this was cool because I got to learn that me and Mad Viking King actually have a very close connection that I was not even aware of before this trip started. So, back in 2020, for doing all my stuff for StackUp, that was the year that we fucking went off. We went off. That was the year that we made $20,000 for StackUp. We being, my stupid ass and the whole community and everybody coming out. COVID happened and people ended up having extra money to work with, and charity's always a good thing. And that event just went off. Well, hi! What's up, peeps? We are here once again. A little bit of music, a little bit of noise in the background for StackUp 2020. Yeah, I got the chair. It's in rotation. You got Griff, and I got the chair. What's up, peeps? How do? Holy crap, we're gonna do this for 3 effing days. For 12 hours each. That's nuts.
We're gonna.
And don't get this.
We want to fucking enjoy each other's company.
Well, don't get this. Oh my God.
That's right.
We did it! Jam!
What?
Jam!
What?
I am so happy for you.
Jam!
With 1 minute to spare on the second day, we made $10,000 fucking dollars. Let's go!
What a beast!
Holy fuck! We finally made $10,000 fucking dollars. Let's go!
Let's go!
Let's fucking go! I'll take a fucking shot to that. Holy shit!
I thought you owed 2 shots for 1,000.
Yeah, that's 2 shots.
You got 2 shots.
That's 2 fucking shots, motherfucker.
I cannot believe we finally fucking did it!
Let's go.
Let's go, Griffin, you beast.
Fucking right, bro.
3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 7th fucking
Can't
year
hear my
I've done it. This
No, you gotta
is
send me a DM.
this is like 4 years that I've been trying to get to 10,000. Let's fucking go! One final time. Thank you. God damn it, thank you. I might be on the edge of tears because I've tried so hard to get to that number. I've been so eager to fucking make that thing. I know it's 2020 and fucking COVID's out there and fucking up what $10,000 fucking means, but it will happen. I know it'll happen. It will fucking go. We will get some vets and some disabled and whatever the fuck it is, I don't even care. We will get them out to see some fucking events that maybe they haven't done. That's so fucking awesome to me. You know, it'll be cool. It'll be cool if like they said, you know, my shield is on the sleeve. That's cool. That's cool. That's all but I don't care about that. I care about what this fucking charity does. That's why I've done it for so long. Little bit of tears. Probably because I've been drinking a little bit more. God damn it. You guys are so fucking awesome. You come out every time. It's amazing. Let's fucking go! God damn it. We still got 1 day to go. We still got 1 fucking day to go. We can go further. How fucking amazing would it be if we beat our all-time high in 1 fucking event? Not even talking about November. Oh, fucking supply crates and shit going out and fucking all of that, man. God damn it. Thank you. Fuck. Thank you. I'm happy to be the fucking stupid jackass that does dumb shit like taking shots of fucking ketchup and whatever it fucking takes. But this is the fucking reason why I do it. This is fucking awesome. Thank you. Bailing on this.
Later, brothers.
Alright, guys.
Peeps.
Griffin.
Thank you very much for hanging, for gaming, for helping, for retweeting, for liking, for donating, for everything that you've done.
Griffin, great weekend, man. Great fucking
We
weekend.
fucking killed it again, and again, and again.
And again, and again.
And now we'll take a little rest, and we'll do it again next year. And again, and again, and again.
And again.
Thank you very much.
GG's,
I will catch
Griffin.
you all later. Peace.
Later, boys.
Great. Stack up. This man is fucking amazing. GG community.
I'm out.
He's done it.
Bye.
See ya.
Or that. So, like, if you want super backspin while you're hitting your, like, your power control. Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like.
Oh, Berg just dropped $840, getting us to $20,200. Let's go!
No.
Let's go!
Fucking believable!
I'm pouring out for that.
I gotta pour out for that too! I gotta stop my own music!
Who just did that? Who just did that?
I do believe Burns just did the work! Holy fuck!
I came back to the bar raising. That's fucking awesome. GG.
Oh my god! And so, in getting $20,000, besides obviously getting, you know, supply crate out and that kind of thing, 2 of them, we were able to fund the really big one, which was an air assault. I didn't ever think I was going to get an air assault to happen. So the fact that we made that year was abso-fucking-lutely insane. And I am still so damn proud of that year and the fact that we made it. And it was cool because, an Air Assault goes out. When Air Assault goes out, they always get a StackUp shirt, but it always gets the emblem of the streamer that funded the situation. It is literally the only things that exist are those T-shirts that have my shield on them. I to this day still have yet to ever have any kind of merch or anything that's got the shield. So, I have one of those shirts, and it's still cool as fuck to me to have that shirt and have the emblem and have my name on it and know that I funded an Air Assault. And from the Air Assault, those that went on that trip signed a StackUp.org flag. It's got the big flashbang on it. I'll have a picture of it up as well. And what I didn't know was that one of those three people was himself Mad Viking King. Mad Viking King was one of the guys that got to go out on that Air Assault. And he wasn't even sure at first if, Griffin it's not like it's that uncommon of a potential name. But once he figured out that, wait, so it's gryphonamx, you sent me on an Air Assault. And that was like instantly, that was the coolest fucking thing to hear. And I'm not going to tell, his whole story. He can always come in and tell it himself or however he wants to. But it ended up coming at the right time in his life. He needed that trip badly. And I was the one that happened to fund it for the chance for him to go. It is not often, as in never, that I give what is effectively a stranger a hug. But damn right, that was one to hear that, hell yeah, I funded something, and hell yeah, he needed it, and hell yeah, the timing was perfect all around, and we did something cool. You damn right I gave that man a hug. and I was more than happy to do it. Dude, that instantly, that moment, like, this was already a weirdly cool trip because StackUp was bringing me out to be the MC and honoring me and all that kind of fun shit. I mean, honoring, whatever. Say it how you want to, I guess. I honoring my time being with them. But that already being a cool trip, and then finding out here is one of the people that the work that I did, the work that everybody else helped fund, the work that we did as a community and made all this money and made a big thing happen. And here is living friggin' proof of somebody that got so much good out of that. I am still, like, hyped just thinking about it and how fucking cool that was to find that out. And so, it's I would have found out eventually that weekend, I'm sure. But it was us getting ready to go to Hollywood for the Robert Englund situation that got it to be, like, the perfect friggin' morning. The sun was out. The sky was clear, the weather was beautiful, and holy fuck, check this out. Here's somebody that reaped the benefits of StackUp and now streams for StackUp. How fucking cool is that? Yes, I am still absolutely hyped about it. But anyway, so it was time for us to head off to Hollywood and go do the Robert Englund star reveal. And while I'm not the, biggest horror fan in the world, one, that's a cool thing. I mean, everybody knows Freddy Krueger. Even if you're not a horror person, you know Freddy Krueger. And two, I figured it was a good chance to, see if I couldn't get some pictures and some video per chance. So I could send them to my buddy Tamped, who is a big horror head. So... that was a chance to go do something pretty cool. And, I'd never been at a star unveiling before. I've been to Hollywood. This would be like the fourth or fifth time, maybe. But that's never been an event that was happening at the time. So there was an unbelievable chance to go do that. And it wasn't just me. It was myself, PerkyDaisy, Highfire, Poison Heart, Dream Warrior, and Mad Viking King. All of us took a ride, a lift, something of that nature, out to Hollywood. Got dropped off a couple blocks away, so we could have the chance to go walk, go check things out, all that fun. I remember posting on the Discord that we had that, hey, we are going out to Hollywood, so maybe do some smart stuff. Whatever you're packing, make sure you're putting it in, like, your front pockets or in something that's zippered and you can keep a track of, because it's Hollywood. There's shenanigans that happen out there. It's not, the glitz and glamour of Tinseltown that it used to be kind of situation. But we all headed out, did some walking along a bunch of the, Hollywood Walk of Fame, where all the other stars are. And I'll show probably a ton of different pictures. We ended up finding all kinds of cool ones. And while I've been to Hollywood and I know I've walked those sidewalks before, I think this is actually the most amount of time I spent really looking at the stars, because any other time I was out there, we were doing something. And whatever it was, it's family time and shit like that. Or actually one of them was old work stuff, but neither here nor there. So, a bunch of the horror actors and horror directors, we caught a bunch of those, but also just a ton of other actors, and I think I found, like, the Muppets or something. I don't know, it'll be in the pictures, so you'll see it. Whatever's there is the ones that I caught, and maybe some of the stuff that some of the other people caught too. Because I'll probably show off a few of the other photos that everybody else dragged in. So we eventually make it to where they're doing the star, and there's a bit of a line already for people that want to see, of course. This is on the side of the road. It's right in front of a bookstore. Larry's or something. It'll be in here. You'll see it. I'm sure it'll, even some of the video will say it. And if it does, then I'm not going to repeat it. So it'll be all right. But so we start following the line, and the line starts on the same side of the street, but across a different road, and goes down basically a side road along the sidewalk. So we start walking along. And literally, as we have gotten there, and as we are starting to walk down that way, there's a few cops there to, help keep people going the right direction, whatever they need to do. Whatever they need to do. And we literally hear them say, let's get them not in that parking lot. Let's have them, on the sidewalks instead. And it turns out, like, maybe an eighth of a mile down that sidewalk, there is an opening to a parking lot, which is meant for some of the other businesses there, and so as we're getting there, the cops are going in through that open gate to start telling people, hey, let's move this line. We need to get you all out of here. And it's a long ass line that's in there. So we might have been a little bit sneaky. Just a little bit sneaky. Not that it ends up mattering, but just a little bit sneaky. And as that line is starting to come out and people start lining up, and they move a little bit so that they are not right over that opening, but back against the fence again, we just kind of casually squirmed our way into that line that right on the other side of that opening. So, like, the first few people that were part of that line were already back in their place, but we just kind of melted our way into it, which was perfect, because by the time that line was done finishing itself out, not even talking about adding other people in, we had cut half the line. Ah, the timing. The timing was so perfect. So we end up hanging out there, and it's like an hour and a half before, anything happens. Like, we'd gotten there early because we knew that you need to get there early if you're going to be at one of these things. Again, not that it matters, but I'll get to that. And everybody's dressed up. It's Halloween. Vast majority of those people there were, of course, dressed up like Freddy. But there were people that rolled past that were dressed in all kinds of different things. There were, I don't know how many people on bicycles that, rode by and were taking video for their blogs and whatnot. One lady ended up actually being really close. She ended up doing an interview of Dream Warrior because he was like the most dressed up and he was fairly eager to do it. She also ended up doing an interview with PerkyDaisy because we talked about the fact that we were doing StackUp, and so Perky did the whole spiel on what StackUp was, and we all got a picture together and whatnot. And I'll add whatever I can of those. If I can find the interview, I'll at the very least, throw it into the description if I can find it. If you don't see it there, or you don't see it actually shown up here, then I'm not sure where it's at, and I don't have access to it. Or I'll throw it into a comment later, or something of that nature. But whatever. But that was pretty neat. There were, again, a bunch of people doing the blogs and doing mini journalism for, kind of a big event. So that hour and a half ends up taking forever, and we hang out. We're all just kind of bullshitting a bit, and there ends up being a couple of people that actually sneak their way into line. Not the same way that we did, but obvious latecomers, and then they're just like, "Oh, I'll just kind of hover around here and melt in." It was like, all right, well, you're doing it the fucking cheaper way. You're kind of doing it. You're doing it the dirtbag way. We did it the sneaky way. I don't know. You could say we were doing it the dirtbag way too, but it is what it is. But the funny thing is, so after the hour and a half is over, they had started to have people walking up, and so the line was sort of moving. It was sort of moving. It was sort of moving, and then I don't know what happened. But the gates were opened and people just started running over there. So I wasn't that worried about being necessarily up front, although that would have been cool because, again, I'm not the biggest horror freak in the world. A couple of the other people started the rush, but then, we had people that just were not going to rush. For one reason or another, they were not in a hurry. And I already was starting to feel like I was more wanting to help Perky kind of keep track of the cats, if you will. Herd the cats, so forth, so on. And so I stayed back and just kind of kept track of everybody. And let's, wherever people are, let's make sure they're good. They're not getting fucking run over by stupid people, which that didn't happen, thankfully, but you never know. Mini stampedes and people get dumb. So, this case, nobody got dumb. Yay, good on us. So we end up getting up there, and like I said, the funny part is by the end, because so many people ran, even us getting that sneaky spot, cutting the line, it didn't matter because we kind of got there late as it was with everybody else. So we kind of found a spot early. It ended up having a bunch of trees and crap in the way. I don't know if that view was better than what we eventually got, but we did. Some of us kind of shifted over. Myself, Mad Viking, and Poison and Dream. No, sorry. It was myself, Mad Viking, Perky, and Poison that did the shift first. And then eventually Dream Warrior shifted over. And I don't think Highfire actually ever drifted over our way. I think he was one of the first to just back out of the crowd because he was stuck in the sun. but we were hanging out there, the big crowd. I am 9,000% positive that there was one person that came through and tried to do a little pickpocketing, because I know what I felt. But thankfully I'm smart about that area and I had all my shit protected. So who knows if that person did or didn't, but I have a sneaking suspicion because, there was kind of a hint there. It was kind of a hint there. But that was the only shenanigans, and so we ended up in a good little pocket of a crowd. Nice people all around. I am amused by the fact that the person that was in front of me was 100% a drag queen. Not in dress right now, or at the time. But I learned a word that I'd never heard before. It was either drag mom or drag mother. I don't remember which way it was said. But that person, I don't know pronouns in this case. I'm just going to go with she, because it is fitting. But she was working with a tablet, something? Was trying to take video so that the drag mom or drag mother, I don't remember which way it was, but so that person could also watch live at the time. That particular fact is the thing that stuck out with me, and I just I've never heard that term before. That is too funny. But we ended up all of us were just chilling out and chatting about the situation, and it was really good vibes. Of course it was, because there's a bunch of people that freaking love Robert Englund, which that was very cool. We ended up in kind of a shitty spot. Again, we needed to be further off to the west. West? Actually, further off to the east. Further off to our left. There we go. I'm thinking in gaming terms for some dumb reason. But we were where we were, and once the crowd was packed, you weren't getting any further closer. If you wanted to get around to that side, you were getting further away, so it wasn't going to help. So we just kind of stuck it out. I ended up getting a couple of good pictures and decent enough video, but I ended up actually using Mad Viking King's phone. He's got a Samsung or an Android or something that I don't. I've got an iPhone, so my camera works, but his had fucking ultimate zoom. So there is one very cool picture of Robert Englund when he's actually up having his speech, which you'll see here. That is me holding MVK's phone as far up as I can, my arms at full freaking reach, to get over the whole crowd and the other crap that was in front of us so I could get an angle. And I had just enough height to work with my long ass and fucking, super long limbs, that I got a great freaking angle and a great picture, and it was perfect. I'm really proud of this picture. It was really cool. And actually it was funny because even before then, because I was having to hold that phone up all the way up and it was hard to see, there was a comical moment where freaking MVK grabs my shoulders and basically uses me as a camera dolly to turn me left and right so he could figure out what's the right angle.
Okay, this is weird. And you still can't see shit, can you? No.
It was well, you only get comfortable with somebody you just met that much when you've done something for them that is that important to StackUp. Oh, shit. Oh, it was too funny. It's one of those moments where it's just talking about it doesn't seem like something, but it was funny as fuck at the time, so... but we hung out there. The sun was getting nice and warm. I by the time that Robert got up on stage, I was absolutely done with being in that crowd at that point. It's not that there was anything wrong with the crowd, it was just I was ready to not be in the crowd. The funny thing is, we even talked about like concert rules, and you know, people try to nudge forward and how you block them off. But the trick is, like, if I'm at a concert where I'm in standing room, I have always gotten there so early that I am at the front. I am at the stage, or as close to the stage as you're allowed to get, and only like rarely ever have like maybe a couple of other people that are in front of me, and that's incredibly rare because it's normally I am at the front. Had I been at the front, I'd have been fine, but because I was in the throng, I hit a point where it was like, it's too much contact, too many people close by, and the sun was starting to show up, and I am ready to go. Perky ends up bailing just a little bit before I do, and it was like, well, shit, now I definitely have to stand here and be cameraman. So I stuck long enough to get those shots, like the picture I talked about.
So the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, as our chair, Jerry Newman, observed at the outset, has administered the Walk of Fame for over 6 decades. And as Eli Roth correctly pointed out, Hollywood's not a real city, but it's in a real city we know and love as Los Angeles. And even though this street, the Walk of Fame, is a street of imagination and really creative brilliance, it also is a real street with real shops like Larry Edmunds' Bookshop, and restaurants and hotels and small retail. And so on behalf of the city of Los Angeles, we'd like to present you with a resolution that is signed off by the city council member who represents this district, Hugo Socha Martinez. So this is a photo op.
Once I got that, it was like, all right, I'm good. This is awesome that we were here. We got to hear a bit of the speech, but I need the fuck out of this crowd. So I bailed, and it ended up being me and Perky and Highfire were like the first to bail, and then slowly but surely everybody else started to arrive. Dream was the last one to come back because, like, Hollywood and movies are exceptionally his thing. It's something he's always wanted to do, is work out there, and I'll talk about that more once we get to day 3 and everything. But so it took a little bit for him to come back, but he finally did. And at first we thought about hanging out for the crowd to disperse to get some fresh pictures, but there was still the Chinese theater to go to, because some people wanted to go and check that out. So it was like, well, let's bail now, go out to that, and then turn around and come back. So we walk and we take pictures here and there. And there's definitely a couple people that are obvious tourists. And I always say, you know, when you're in Hollywood, don't give yourself away as a tourist, because there are people out there that 100% are going to target tourists. Whether it's the shenanigans of the pickpocketers, like we mentioned before, which happens, or more likely the other freaking grifters that are out there, your Spider-Mans and your other costumed freaking people, or the people that show up with, you know, 5-cent merchandise that they sell for $25 plus, that kind of a thing. You know, they're looking for those people that are, oh, you're a tourist. Oh, let me see if I can't make more than a few bucks off of you. So as we kept moving and whatnot, like even more than before, I do try to help Perky and keep track of everybody and make sure nobody falls too far behind. There's a couple of times where, you know, one or two are taking a bunch of pictures and the others are still walking forward, and I would stop and wait and sometimes walk back. And just, just help and make sure everybody was in good shape, Keep track of your battle buddies, I guess, if you want. Even though I'm not military, but I still get the same concept. I understand. And so we definitely took a long walk. We ended up grabbing a cup of fruit at one point. That was $15 freaking for like a cup of fruit. Insanely expensive. But I'll admit, at the moment that we got it, like, the three of us needed it. Perky needed it, Highfire needed it, I needed it really badly. So that ended up being the best $15 cup of fruit that had ever existed. So we take the long walk and do all that stuff. And lots of pictures, lots of pointing things out, plenty of bullshitting about various actors or whatever it happened to be. And we ended up rolling literally past the Chinese theater at first. I think it was me and Highfire that were looking at it and pointing at it and like talking about it a little bit. But the rest of the crowd, the rest of our group rather, was so busy looking at the stars that they just kept walking, so we kept walking too. I was like, all right, well, we couldn't get in, to the Chinese theater. They had it roped off because they had some kind of an event that was going to be happening that night, as happens at the Chinese theater. So we ended up walking like a good bit past it. Then eventually, I think it was Perky goes, wait, oh, the Chinese theater's back there. We walked right past it. I was like, yeah, we were pointing it out. They were so focused. But we couldn't go to the Chinese theater, but there ended up being a little spot to take pictures with like human-sized Oscar statues. So we went over there because what the heck, why not? Took a group photo over there with the guy that was taking it. I don't know how you were supposed to get those photos back, but whatever, it didn't matter. And then a couple of people took some quick selfies, even though like that's not what they wanted, but but what was funny is we were also over by the side entrance, so somewhere, and I think Mad Viking's the one that's got it, because I think I did it with his phone with him, but it was like there's these big bars. Who wants to take a picture of them like trying to get over the bars to get into the Chinese theater? So he was game to take a picture of that real quick, which was cool. So we finished that, and then we got ourselves across the street. And at this point, the vibes were slightly changing, and I think it's because we'd been out there for about 2 hours by this point. It was getting warm. Outside of that cup of fruit for $15, nobody had really had anything to drink or eat. So some hangry was starting to happen, along with probably a lot of, and I feel the same way, the social battery was getting drained real hard. The need to be around that many people was dwindling super fast. So we started working our way back. We took a stop over at chocolate place, something? I don't remember. I grabbed a freaking cup of water there. That's all I remember. We hung out a little bit. And it was definitely obvious by then people were ready to go. We as a group, we were ready to get the hell out of there. So we did exactly that. We got the hell out of there. We walked a little bit more just so we could get back to where the star was, and get what pictures we could of it before it was fully installed. And then we got our ride back. So after the Hollywood fun, we finally get over to the place that we're going to be holding the event, Geeky Teas and Games, up in Burbank. And this place is awesome, by the way. Not just talking about the fact that they have a big-ass fucking event space, where we could do all of our stuff with, a stage and all the desks and all that fun stuff. But this place is it's huge. One, they have a shit ton of resources for, tabletop gaming. like books and whatnot. They have a shit ton of freaking board games and shit for sale, and card games and stuff. They have a space for like a kiddie daycare kind of spot. And then they have all of these spaces that are literally rentable. Some are just regular tables. There's a section where there are tables with obvious like maps built on top of them for D&D. And there are literal fucking rooms that are just padded out for like having an event. Like there was a place that's like a vampire's lair, and there was a fucking a library, and there was a room that was like a pirate ship. Like all these fucking things are cool as hell. I think I took a couple pictures. I don't remember. If they're there, I'll be showing them whatnot. And apparently, like, early Critical Role happened there, I'm guessing. Which, that's cool, but, you know, whatever. The fucking place itself is actually legit really fucking awesome. So that was cool as shit to see. But then we have our spot, which was the tea room, I think it was called, in the back. But it was the huge event space. It had doors to the back and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I got a hyperactive one. So my body is
The view for tomorrow. Well, sort of. So we all finally get there, and Embrace the Chaos is back in order. So I believe the crew that had been setting up everything had only been able to get in the day before thus far. So, you know, the tables were up, the computers were on top of the tables, some of the cabling was in play, but there was not yet any power, and they were fighting with the internet. So originally it was going to be they were using the fiber that was in the building, but it was non-dedicated fiber, and so even just in testing, things were not good. They were not getting good bit rates, whatever. And so Sketch was working with a company called Pop-Up Wi-Fi. They literally had 2, Wi-Fi units out. I'm not even specifically sure how these work, but they were external units that could sit outside and then connect into everything, and satellite something maybe. I don't know. I didn't get into the nitty-gritty of it. I'm sure you could look up pop-up Wi-Fi and probably find info if you were really interested in looking at that. But they absolutely fight with that. So setup day is more than just the streamers coming in and downloading their games. There's a lot of plugging in. There's a lot of testing the equipment. This all this gear had been donated from another group, and I'll probably have it somewhere. And so, they were supposed to be set up a specific way when they came in, basically fresh installs. Even one of those computers wasn't quite right. I think there were drivers that were missing or something of that nature. So there was like updates that had to happen to every single one of these, and they couldn't even happen because that had to wait until the internet was running, and the internet wasn't running great. So everybody had to was working on getting at least the power all strung out and put up, and at least getting some level of peripherals figured out. They had some pretty nice Bluetooth headsets, but 10 Bluetooth headsets all in the same space. They all started fighting over each other for Bluetooth space, basically, despite the fact that it was one device and one device and one device. A headset had its own dongle and whatnot. So that ended up causing chaos. So those headsets couldn't be used. One could be used because it would be Bluetooth by itself. But they ended up having to get a whole different set of headsets. The StackUp crew ended up buying some, over ears. Some of the streamers had earbuds that they just said, screw it, we're going to work with these, whatever. They pivoted. The other phrase that I say, I'll be saying a lot. so they worked with those instead. It was a good bit of chaos. The funny thing is the one computer that ended up having issues, I'll kind of talk about it now. There ends up being a secondary connection with one of the streamers at this point. This I found out after the fact, but the PC that Poison Heart used, which was basically PC1, I'm going to call it that, that was the computer that had issues, that needed the drivers or whatever, and it took some fight to get that to work even into the day of. So I think her stream started like an hour late or something. I wouldn't know anything about, you know, stream starting late or not being able to game for a little bit. I didn't have that issue myself at the first two. You know, it's funny because I think I'm the one that's actually cursed, actually, because she ends up using the PC that my crew also funded as one of the retrofit PCs. So that PC went out via, you know, our work. And it ended up being the PC that she was using, which I didn't know at the time either, which I would have signed that one too. Like, every PC got signed by the streamer that was on it. If I had known ahead of time that ours was the one funding that one going out, I'd absolutely signed that too. But, oh well. I mean, I'm not worried about it. They still got a piece of paper with, you know, the my stream and all that fun stuff. So it's like a double cool connection. I'm the community that funded it, and then Poison's the one that got to use it and show it off, even if it was slightly cursed, probably because of me. And, you know, got it out to whichever vet got it. But so yeah, so there was definitely a little bit of chaos. So I ended up, I'm happy that I was able to like help out with some of the other setup stuff, like the big whiteboard that we use. I put all that together. I helped like move some of the stuff around. I helped Perky figure out the games. Some of them are very obvious. Don't Break the Ice, the King's favorite game. You'll hear that a lot in the videos coming up. And the egg toss one, and the collapsing tower game. Those were easy to figure out because they just were what they were. But then we had two that had to be figured out. The one that I know, like I helped play a big part of, was the Rexaboo game. We only saw it once. It's the one with the chairs and the candy. Because we originally had like marshmallows, but those grabber things, the marshmallows like instantly got stuck. So that wasn't going to vibe. And so we had to spend some time to really figure things out. Luckily, Perky had a crap ton of candy from some Halloween event. And so we grabbed some plastic cups. We figured out, you know, put the candy in there. The grabbers could actually grab candy pretty well. And it took a few tries of like trying a few different things, but we figured that game out eventually. Oh, and the freaking Rex ball shooting one. We didn't really have to figure that one out so much as what do we do about the balls going everywhere situation, and then I came up with the whole gimmick that you'll eventually see, just for the fun of it, because it was going to be a funny thing. And we definitely, after that round was over, it was definitely a one and done. I'll get more into it when we get there, but you know, again, stream of consciousness is what these videos are going to be. What ended up being very cool about this event, so the previous two that we did live, they were both, you know, the same idea. It was a bunch of streamers, I think 10 for every single one, or it might have been 12 for the first one. I don't know, don't quote me. I actually apparently don't have any video or pictures from the first fucking event. I don't know how that's possible, but I don't have anything, or I can't find anything. I don't even have anything on YouTube here, so like I can't specifically point at what we definitely had. But those two events, you know, there were a bunch of streamers and people got to know each other, especially since those first two rounds, the hotels were doubled up. You know, it was, you know, two streamers, however many it was. The original event was me and DJ Knight bunking together. And again, DJ Knight, cool as fuck guy, and I still say that to this day. And dude is just killing it in everything he does. I still go, fucking DJ Knight, go find him on Twitch. I highly recommend. The dude is entertaining as fuck. And I'm still glad I got to know the guy. And there were a number of other people. I had Damn It Rooster next to me during that first event. And then there was everybody else. And here's the funny thing. And that's literally how it is there was everybody else. I know Damn It Rooster because he was right next to me. And I know DJ Knight because we were bunking together. And I cannot tell you who the rest of anybody else was. Partially because the event was, there was so much less time. Like, it was literally like a fly in, do the event, fly out kind of thing, almost. And I think the second one was similar-ish. Maybe we had like one extra day. Maybe it was 4 days. And I sort of remember the dude that I bunked with there. And I can't even think of his name. And I know that Anthony Kongfang was at that one because he absolutely decked Steve in the face with a pie. And any of the other streamers, again, I don't remember anybody. I don't even remember if anybody from the first one was at the second one specifically, besides me. I don't remember. I'd have to go look it up and see if they still had rankings from everything. All of that being very long-winded to say, so the first two events were, yeah, there were, you know, a bunch of streamers out there, but there was very little close-knitness going on. I kind of remember, like, hanging out with DJ and two other people and having some drinks at the hotel. And that's, like, just about the most I remember of any kind of interactions and hanging out. So while those first two events were cool, and the first event is still comical for the fact that I was the one streamer told to, can you be quiet, you're way too loud, which is hilarious, and I still laugh about it to this day. Especially since I do believe we absolutely destroyed that person that was much bigger than us in the amount of donations we got for that event. Anyway, but you know, I just, like, there weren't many connections made. And I wouldn't have thought of anything about it had it not been for this event. So the reason why this one ended up being so cool, and maybe it was because we did, like, a bunch of people got a chance to hang out ahead of time. We got to hang out at Failing's house. We got to hang out doing the Hollywood stuff. But there was a chance to just hang out, not as streamers, not as content creators, not as YouTubers, not as me, a gamer who streams and makes YouTube videos, blah, blah, blah. Just people hanging out and just doing some stuff together. And so people had a chance to chat and bullshit and find some, you know, connections and whatnot. And so while we're there, it is not just people setting up their own stuff. They start talking together and going, hey, you know, should we game together? Should we do some stuff together? Not just the live games that are going to happen, but should we put some stuff together? Should we, you know, get some freaking co-op games and stuff? The one I know that got played was RV There Yet, and I think there was maybe something else that got played. I don't remember off the top of my head. I remember the RV There Yet especially being part of the conversation. Some of the streamers were like, well, shit, how about we make some donation goals where, you know, if somebody it was either if we hit this particular gold or somebody hits this incentive, we swap places and I stream on your stream and you stream on my stream and we play each other's games and just learn shit. Dude, it was so friggin' cool, and I wish the first two events had been like that. Like I don't know how well I would have done with it, maybe at the time. Because again, super introverted, whatnot. But now I'm like, fuck, if there was a chance to do that now again and be one of the streamers, I would be so game to just do any of that. You know, do some collabs with the other people that were there, or fucking just any of that. Like, all of that was cool as shit. And us having the live games, we didn't do that the first two times. I don't remember what there was for interactions. I know it was, you know, they brought the streamers up and they hung out like on the couch and did the live chat with everybody there and chatted with, you know, Steve and Sketch and fucking the first event had some people there specifically for talking. I don't remember off the top of my head again. I don't have any video from it, which is a bummer. I don't know how that happened, but this ended up turning into where, you know, we were going to have live games. So that was more interaction, so much more interaction between. Obviously, that came from us having to swap over to the online live events and them deciding, well, let's pull some, you know, some mini Steam games and have the streamers go against each other. So, you know, even the original championship was the 2020 year. It wasn't 2018 or 2019. It was 2020 that started. But yeah, it was so cool to see, you know, just all these people just go, fuck it, let's do stuff together. Why not? You know? Hell yeah. Oh yeah, I'm going back through my notes real quick, and I'm being reminded that Rexaboo, that game, was originally called by me Glory Dinehole, and despite the fact that it was funny, Perky said no. She insisted a different name had to be made. Dang it, Glory Dinehole? That would have been great. Hilarious. No, it's fine. It's fine. So we end up being there for a long time. You know, people work really hard to get stuff done. The internet situation was not figured out that night. They kind of got it a little bit figured out. People were able to get stuff downloaded and sort of ready, but there was definitely some chaos still there. But eventually it's time to call it a night and go to dinner. And so we bailed from the event space, and we went out to Outback. And again, I'm gonna reference the old original events, and I think it was especially the first event where they took us to some like really fancy places, and I don't even think it was StackUp doing it. I think it was like whoever the sponsor was or whatever. And they were taking us out to some, like, again, some really fancy places, some kind of, like, off-the-cuff stuff, you know, some, you know, doing some whining and dining kind of situation. But it was funny because it's like, we're all streamers, and so, you know, like, some people would get some stuff to eat. I don't think I ever had any problems because I'm pretty adventurous when it comes to trying stuff. So I found some food, but, like, it was highly remembered, especially at that first event, that when the dinner was over and we had all left and gone back to the hotel, there were a bunch of people that went to fucking Burger King or something. They were like, we gotta go get some real fucking food. Real food being crap food compared to where we went, but it was just normal shit for normal people that are normal streamers and not people looking to freaking you can buy, you know, get this really expensive food or whatever. Not an issue this time. Like, the StackUp crew, they know, man. They've been around. This is all streamers. This is all veterans. That kind of a thing. So, you know, at the space, we had freaking pizza. During the event, they ordered Chick-fil-A and also more pizza. We had sodas and waters. We go to fucking Outback. Outback is perfect. Everybody can find shit at Outback. Let's fucking go. We ended up sitting at a big ass table, and it ended up being me and, let's see, who was around me? Me and PacificCreative across from me, Frost Louvre on the other side, Broken Stoic, and I think to my right was High Fire? I'm losing, because this is a couple weeks after, so I'm losing track a little bit. Plus, at that point, like, I was getting kind of worn out again and getting kind of tired, because it was late. Like, we were up early, and we were getting, like, food and shit late and whatnot. But we ended up hanging out, bullshitting, and talking about stream stuff for a little bit, and then just bullshitting. And again, just talking regular life stuff and some work stuff and this, that, and the other. And it was cool as fuck. And it was good to just hang out and just chat with all of these people. And have conversations and have good food. And one of the waiters was dressed up as a pirate and shit. Like, again, it was Halloween. So, we had fun with that. And we had, all the StackUp people that were going to be there. Freaking Perky was there, Sketch was there, Steve was there. The two guys, younger guys who, I don't remember their names, but I'm terrible with names. I'm sorry. It's always how I am. If they ever see this, comment. Say who you are. Show your streams off too if you do. Hey, if you've got streams. I don't even know. And Clue, the camera bunny. We'll talk about that more later too. But just everybody was there. All the streamers, all of us, just bullshitting, having a good time, having some good meals. A few of them having a few drinks, whatnot. We finished all that up. Some people ran off to freaking Walmart or Target right after because it's this big-ass complex place. The rest of us jumped into the van. Actually, right before then, there's this one car, and I'll show pictures of it. That it's like a silver paint, but it has like glitter around the things. And it was like one of those, it's gaudy, but also it was really cool looking. And I dug it. I was like, this is actually really cool. Yes, it's gaudy as fuck. Absolutely. But gaudy in just the right way to be cool. So I think there's a couple of pictures. Maybe somebody else grabbed it. I don't remember, but there'll be a couple pictures in there showing that car off. But we get back to the hotel, and Lord Zath ended up, putting into the Discord, hey, if anybody wants to still come hang out, come hang out. So I said, fuck it. Like, I was tired, but was like, yeah, fuck. My stupid introverted self, like, go hang with some people a little bit longer, whatever. Even if tired, even if it's just a little bit. It ended up being Lord Zath, Rain Man, High Fire, MVK, and me that ended up hanging out. They were drinking. I was good. I didn't need any drinks that night. And we bullshitted for a while. Well, I say we bullshitted. I think I barely talked that first night. Like, I did wallflower, even hanging with them. I leaned against the wall, and pretty much just let the rest of them talk, which was fine by me. If you ever go to, especially like modern streams of mine, how often do I not talk unless other people are talking or asking stuff? So I was good. It was just kind of nice to just kind of hang out, chill, listen to some people bullshit about the things that they do, whatnot. And again, it was good, relaxed vibes. It was a little more of a connection. People learning a few more things, and we talked about some stream stuff and what to do for charity and what are good ideas for incentives. And I know I talked a little bit about that because I remember a couple of things there, but it was just good times. It was very relaxed. And so eventually, I bail early enough because it's like, I need to sleep. I need some actual rest. I think the night before I had only slept for like 4 hours because there was a lot going through my head, curiously enough. And thankfully that day, because my nerves were settled a little bit, having been at the event space, I know I'm kind of back and forthing again. You know, learning what do we want to do for the king thing and whatnot, and then just kind of getting an idea. I had come up with some ideas before we even arrived originally. The first flight and second flight, I had come up with some ideas for emceeing because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing yet. You know, doing some of my radio voice character. I was like, okay, maybe I'll MC like that or something, at least for the intro. I was thinking about getting a top hat, and I had this, literally a fucking whole ass fucking introduction originally to work with, which didn't happen. Pivot, because then the whole king thing came into fruition, because that's the idea that they had. And so then I ended up having some more ideas for it. Pivot. That doesn't happen. We'll get into more of that for the next episode. But anyway, so you know, thankfully, the night before, I had 4 hours, maybe 5 hours of sleep. Like it wasn't good. It was not enough. But that night, now I was really tired, and I was really ready to go to bed, and my nerves were actually settled a little bit because I kind of had an idea of what we were going to do the next day, which helped. Now I sort of know what I'm going to do. So thankfully that night, I do believe I actually got a good night of sleep. And the day after that will be stream day, and that is going to be multiple videos, because not only am I going to talk about my stuff, but we're going to just go through a shit ton of video. Some of it is going to have bad audio, and some of it's going to have good audio, and it's not going to matter because we're just going to have a fun time going through all of it. So, see you soon.